After the phone call was made to Lisner, Wayne and myself gathered up any equipment that we would need and got the keys for the work car and a .22 revolver that I was going to use on Lisner, along with a box of bullets, 22 bullets. I get a call from Joe Pignatelli. He owned a restaurant in town called Villa d'Este, and he said he needs to speak to me. So when I get over there, he said he had a customer, a lawyer guy, this lawyer guy's in there, and he says to me, he asked me if I know a guy by the name of Jerry Lisner, and I said, yeah. And he said, well, this guy is in front of the grand jury in Washington, D.C., and he's cooperating with them. And he's come up with Tony Splacio's name and your name. And I want to get this message to you guys. So I thank him, and I thank Pignatelli, Joe Pignatelli, and I get back to Tony. And he said, well, I got to think on this one, he said, because I got a funny feeling we're going to have to whack this guy. And we're going to have to whack him soon. And I said, Jerry, right? And he said, yeah. When I'm ready, he said, I'll let you know. He says, and I said, who should I use on it, Larry? He said, nope, again, I'm telling you, don't use the big guy. Get somebody else. When we're ready, you get somebody else. And I says, okay. A day or two goes by, and he says, well, what have you done? I said, well, I haven't done anything yet. He said, do you want me to whack this cocksucker by myself? What are you going to do? When are you going to do it? I said, Tony, I got to get somebody to do it. I got to go back to Chicago. He said, give me a few days. I said, I'm sure we got some time left. He moaned and groaned a little bit. So what I did was I got a hold of Wayne. I go back to Chicago and I meet Wayne. I told him in person what the plan is. And I fly back to Las Vegas. But I told him how he needs to return to Las Vegas. I says he needs to fly into Burbank Airport. And once he's there, he needs to contact me. I will drive to the airport, pick him up, and bring him to my condo, Marie Antoinette. Well, as it worked out exactly as I planned it. We got to my condo, and I said, let me give this guy a shot and call him now and see if he's at home. Actually, we were going to do it the following day. So it turned out to be the spur of the moment. So I call him and he answers the phone. I say, hey, what are you doing? I said, I got something real important to talk to you about, Jerry. I says, I don't want to talk in front of your old lady or your kids. He said, not a problem. He said, come on right over. I said, okay, this is a good one. So I put the phone down and I tell Wayne he's ready. I had underground parking where I live, so we went to the garage, loaded the stuff up in this Ford work car. We had a four-door Ford work car. And again, fictitiously plated and named. And we drove out to Hacienda around Rawhide. I think he lived, I'm not sure the street. No. And Wayne was to sit in the car and listen to the calls while I went into the house to kill Lisner. That was the only thing I was to do, was go in there and kill Lisner and get out of there. So when I went up to the door, I knocked on it with my knuckles, and he opened up the door, Lisner, and we greeted each other, smiling. And then as he shut the door, at that moment I said to him, what's that noise? Because the stairway leading upstairs was right by the front door. Because I wanted to make absolutely sure there was nobody in the house when I kill this guy, or else I'd have to kill them too. So he says, no, there's nobody home. I said, all right, because I don't want nobody hearing our conversation. So we proceeded to walk into the den part of the house, which leads into the kitchen. And at that moment, I reached in my waistband in the back where my spine is. I pull out this .22 revolver and put 2 bullets into the back of his ear, leading up to his brain. And the son of a bitch turns around and looks at me and says, what are you doing? With that, I shot several more times, and I know I hit him all in the head because he was no more than a foot away from me. He makes it to the kitchen area and tries to go into the garage, and in doing so, the garage door button to open up the garage door outside is right there on the wall, and he hits it. And I know what that button was, and I hit it, which made the door go up a couple feet. He crumbles to the floor at the door there. I sort of peek out the garage to look, and I could see that the door was up. The overhead door was up about 2 feet. There was a water cooler there. I grabbed the electrical cord and attempted to strangle him, screaming that his wife knew I was there. And at this time, I had nowhere to go but other than to use any means I could to kill this guy, because it's beyond letting him live. So I tried to reach over to the counter to grab a knife, and I was a little afraid to do that because I didn't have no gloves on. But just before I was able to get over there, the door opened and it shocked me, and it was Wayne, the guy I had in the car. He comes in the house and he's got these bullets, the box of bullets. And he said, "What the hell's going on?" He said, "How many shots? This guy ain't dead." I said, "I know, son of a bitch don't want to die." So he takes the gun and he reloads it, and he gives me the bullets, or I got the empty cartridges. One of us put them in our pocket, and I know that they were, taken out of the house. And I told him, "Grab a pillow from the couch there and give me 2 pillows, one for you, one for me." I stuck one in the front of his face, and Wayne held the one in the back of his head, and I emptied I pushed the gun up into his eyes or his face. I know I could feel it going up there. And he was trying to rise up a little bit with his body, and I put the remaining amount of bullets into his head. And it wasn't that much loud. It was much quieter than the first 5 or 6 bullets I emptied into his head. With that, I told Wayne, I said, "Man, I got blood all over me." I said, "We got to get this guy and dump him in the pool. I got to get this blood off me." So he opened up the sliding glass door, which led to the pool, dragged him to the pool and pushed him in there, sat him up and pushed him in there. It was like as though he went swimming. As he was going down, the blood was coming up. And we're knee-high or waist-high into the pool. And then we walked out of there, and Wayne told me to go to the car. He says, "I'll continue looking in the house. I see if you can find recorders or phone books." So Wayne remained in the house while I went to the work car. He was in there, it seemed like for an eternity, while I listened to the police calls. When he comes out, he has nothing in his hands. He says, "Let's get out of here." And we drive out of there.
Sherwin Jerry Lisner, indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of luring businessmen to Washington with a money exchange scheme, apparently fought desperately for his life before being shot in the head and dumped into a swimming pool. Lisner, 46, scheduled for trial October 29th in Washington, was found floating face down in the pool in the pre-dawn hours Thursday. He had been shot in the head and once through the eye. Police said the walls of Lisner's fashionable 2-story home were splattered with blood. Numerous bullet holes were found throughout, and the house had been ransacked. Police said Lisner had driven his wife Jean to work at a strip hotel Wednesday at about 8 p.m. She called home 6 hours later but received no answer. The woman found the grisly scene when she returned to the house. Lisner had been arrested by federal agents last summer on charges of bribery, interstate transportation of stolen property, aiding and abetting, conspiracy, and grand larceny. He was one of 8 men arrested in connection with a scheme designed to lure businessmen to Washington under the pretense that they could trade large sums of cash for hot money at a high rate of exchange.
Next time you're in Las Vegas, look up the Vegas Mob Tours at 866-218-4600. 4935. We'll show you all the things that you saw on TV news, watched the movies. We'll show you where the Chicago outfit applied its trade, sometimes good and sometimes very, very bad. And by the end of it all, not only will you know why they call it Sin City, but you'll feel so part of the action that you'll start talking to people with your hand over your mouth, just in case there's lip readers watching. So give Vegas Mob Tours a call, 866-218-4935, or look us up online at vegasspecialtytours.com. And remember, there's no such thing as the mafia. There is no such thing as the mafia. There's no such thing as the mafia. There's no such thing as the mafia.